Regulations are frequently perceived as constraints, but they can also serve as incentives. This is the outcome Needham officials are striving for with the introduction of a solar energy system bylaw. Municipal producer Yuxiao Yuan spoke with Stephen Frail, chair of the Climate Action Plan Committee, and Adam Block, chair of the Planning Board, to understand how the bylaw proposal is intended to facilitate sustainable energy practices.
While rooftop solar panels are not uncommon in Needham, there exists scan language within the town's zoning bylaws addressing the installation of various solar energy systems, a gap the new proposal aims to fill.
There are a lot of other types of solar. Some of those require bylaws that help businesses and owners of buildings make use of their property for solar.
So the purpose for this is really to find a way that we can be proactive, that we can allow for all kinds of installations that would in many ways reduce the regulatory burden on private property owners and to some degree also the municipality.
Friel noted if passed, the new bylaw has the potential to unlock a significant number of spaces in the commercial sector by providing guidance on installing solar canopies over parking lots and the top buildings.
Both of those we've heard from property owners that they want to be able to install solar, but our existing bylaws and permitting process really don't help them do that. It puts up too much red tape. So under our current bylaw, solar panels on a commercial roof are restricted to 25% coverage of that roof. This is because they're lumped in with other equipment that's on the roof, for example, the HVAC units that sit on many commercial roofs. If you restrict the roof to 25%, you dramatically reduce the potential for solar.
Not only does the bylaw proposal remove the 25% restriction for commercial buildings, but it also permits rooftop canopies to optimize solar utilization.
So you have access to the whole sun on the roof structure, as opposed to being limited by where you can install the solar panels, because the roof is taken up in some cases by these other mechanical systems.
Additionally, by incorporating provisions regarding ground-mounted solar systems and solar canopies in residential areas, homeowners are encouraged to explore alternative spaces beyond their rooftops for solar energy generation.
For example, some people have larger backyards. There might be opportunities to put solar in the backyards. You could potentially put it over a patio or over your driveway.
Block mentioned one of the challenges the planning board faced was whether to permit ground-mounted solar panels in front yards. Ultimately, they decided to allow such structures by special permit through the zoning board appeals, providing some discretion to the visual impact.
One of the factors that they would look at is the screening to blunt the visual impact, to preserve a kind of residential character of our neighborhoods, as opposed to what is otherwise really like an industrial type application.
The proposed bylaw also addresses more advanced solar technologies, such as building integrated and surface integrated solar systems, which can be incorporated into building facades, roofs, windows, and driveways. Block explained, while immediate applications of such technologies may not be anticipated for Needham, the board wants to be prepared.
We're allowing for these future uses as well, while minimizing the regulatory burden so it's more accessible for businesses and for homeowners.
Encouraging access to solar energy is one of the priorities the Climate Action Plan Committee identified to reduce the town's greenhouse gas emissions from electricity consumption.
Just under about 30% of the carbon emissions that come from Needham come from electricity. That meant we needed to find a way to green the electricity supply.
According to Frail, the potential impact of the bylaw change could be significant. In fact, rooftop space alone has the capacity to generate a substantial amount of solar energy.
So if we look at all the buildings in Needham that have good solar potential because they're facing the right way, they're not shaded, they have proper surface area, if every one of those buildings had solar installed, we would generate about 30% of our electricity demand as a town by 2050.
The planning board will host a public hearing on the bylaw proposal in March, where residents can offer feedback on the uses, height, and setback requirements of the various solar energy structures. Residents can refer to the planning board meeting packet for details. For Needham Channel News, I'm Yuxiao Yuan.